In this video, I'm going to describe to you two key features and opportunities that you can find when trading futures versus traditional stocks or other types of indices. The first thing to understand when people come from trading a traditional stock environment, if you take an example of popular stocks, let's say tech stocks like Apple or Nvidia and so forth, the only way you can make money is if you buy it at a lower price, price rises, and you now sell the stock at a higher price and you get to keep the difference. However, if the opposite is true and the market is crashing, all you can really do is sell it at a higher price, spare yourself from losses, and then when you repurchase the stock at a lower price, you can either repurchase the same stock for cheaper, or maybe you can purchase more of the stock for the same amount of money because it's worth less now. But in reality, you haven't made any US dollar gains or other currency gains by doing it that way. When it comes to trading something like futures, yes, you can enter into a buy and make money as price rises and close out your position and pocket the difference. But you can actually also enter a sell without owning the stock or index. And when the price goes down and you square away that position, now you get to keep the difference and you have made actual gains in your US dollar account. This provides a massive opportunity and is something to think on for a moment and let sink in, because as long as the futures market exists, you can make money whether the market is going up, whether it's coming down, or if you're particularly skilled, even when it's running sideways. So that can hopefully provide a big opportunity for you. Another thing we want to speak about, though, is a difference between trading futures and what many have been introduced to specifically in recent years. Now, again, let's start back to the stocks and we'll describe what indexes are. We'll make a progression from there. So in a stock, you're purchasing equity in a company. When it comes to trading indices, you're actually trading the valuation of a group of stocks. Specifically at the Chartmasters Enterprises, we like to trade the NASDAQ and specialize in that. The NASDAQ is a grouping of the top or select 100 US tech stocks. Now, when we trade that, again, if you were to trade the actual index, it's the same as with the stocks. You can only really make money on the way up. But when you trade futures, now instead of buying and selling based on just trading money or trading funds, you're purchasing contracts. And again, you can enter a buy contract or a sell contract. And when you close it away and square away that position, you've really only just traded contracts with someone else. So there has to be someone taking the buy when you do a sell, or somebody has to be willing to close you out in a sell when you want to buy, right? And so that's the way that works. But you don't see any physical contracts in your hands. There's no paper. Yes, you may sign some paperwork when it comes to being able to trade things like futures with a brokerage or an exchange, but no physical contracts come into your hands. But the smallest position size you can enter is one contract. And if you want to trade more, you can enter multiple contracts at the same time and close them out. Now, what many have been introduced to is the next iteration, and it's something called CFDs. What is that? Many will be hearing that term for the first time. What they did was say, with these futures, we don't really see this contract anyway. Why don't we just do away with the contract piece of it and we'll just trade cash for difference in price. Cash for difference, CFD. The big difference with CFDs, although there's a couple major that stand out, is that with futures, no matter where you enter into a trade, what brokerage or where you may be, everything has to ultimately flow through one centralized point called the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, or CME for short. Because that all takes place in one location, a couple of things happen. The price is then unified. No matter where you may be trading, you're looking at the same price. But it provides one central place that governments like the US government can then keep an eye on what happens on the trading floor and regulate it, and they're happy with that and allow that. With CFDs, no such centralized point exists. What that means is you do not have a unification in price, and you may have noticed there's a difference depending on what brokerage or proprietary trading firm you may be trading with. There's things like a difference in price, tremendous slippage, spreads, all these things that actually do not truly exist in futures. Whereas with futures, again, because of that centralized point, they are perfectly allowed here in the United States. In fact, most of anything that I personally trade and that many of us trade is all US based, US regulated. You have full recourse if something should happen, unlike with CFDs. So CFDs are simply not legal here in the United States. Now, that may be a big aha moment for many people who are just hearing this for the first time and realizing, what is a CFD? And now they may be realizing why they could have had a hard time finding people that would let them trade in their brokerage or prop firms, proprietary trading firms, it's called prop firms for short, why they're finding more limited opportunities, and that's closing to them. Because again, CFDs are not allowed in the United States. Now, others outside the United States can also trade futures, and it provides a lot of opportunity. But hopefully for US people, now this opens up your mind to the concept, what is futures versus CFDs? Do your full research, and we hope you find this helpful and informative.